Today we are going to start a new project, school project, in order to learn basics of OOP, object-oriented programming. We are going to work on Replit, and let's create a new REPL, and we are going to use the programming language Java, and let's call it school project OOP. We have main Java file here. Let's create, first of all, in a school there is a person, right? Person, I mean there are students, teachers, but they are person. That's why we're going to first create a new class which is called person.java, and we are creating the class, and P is capital, and this person name and the file name must be the same, person. We have created the class now, and it's possible to set some attributes here, and these attributes will be available from the main. For example, a person can have a first name. Let's write that this will be firstly public. It means it can be accessible from other files, and its type will be string, and I am writing first name. And after that, let's go to the main and let's create an object from this class. So from person class we are creating a person. Let's call it person1, new person, and we created an object from the class. Now we have a person. After that, let's set first name. So person1 dot first name is equal to, for example, ns, and we set it, and I want to print it out, println, and that is person1 first name. Let's see how it works. We have system out. Let's try again. So it was possible to set to this object name, first name, and it was possible to get that value. So it's working. But if you make this private, is it going to work or not? Let's check. So it's giving an error because we cannot reach at the attributes which has access modifier private. So private can be accessed only inside this class. So what is the advantage or disadvantage? First of all, when we make public, it's possible to change this attribute directly from other classes. There is no validation. We cannot check this is a name, or for example, if you are writing an email, the email is written correctly or not, or phone number. So there is no validation. In order to make these validations, usually we make them private, and they will be accessible only. These attributes will be accessible only inside this class. And in order to reach at these attributes from other files, we are going to create methods for each attribute. These methods will be public, and first of all we are going to create a method to get this first name. So and second, we are going to create a method to set, get and set. They are called in fact getters and setters. In IB they are called also accessors and mutators. Let's call it here, this is getters, or also called accessors, and also we are going to create setters and mutators. So in order to get, it must return, and it has the type string, and let's call it get first name, and we are going to return first name. So using this method, public method, we can get the first name. In fact, here we didn't write any validation. It's like in public written here public. There is no difference because we didn't do any validation in fact, but we are going to do that. Okay, what about setters? So it should be again public. It's not going to return anything, that's why it's void, and I am writing set first name. We should send here a name. Okay, it's going to be a string, and let's call it also first name. In fact, first name here and first name here, they are different. This is an argument, and this is object's first name. In order to make them different, we need to write here this. It means this object first name, this one, first name is equal to first name. Of course, it's possible to give another name here, for example, f name, and in order to not confuse them, but usually it's written the same name, first and first. So we have created accessors and mutators for first name, and now we can use get first name and set first name for the person. So we are going to set person 1, set first name. Now we can set it, it's ns, and in order to show it, we are going to get first name. Now let's check. So it's working. So in the same way, we can create other attributes. What attributes we are going to need for this project? A person can have first name, last name, let's write phone number, and also email. And of course, we need to create for each attribute getters and setters. In the same way, the setters. Okay, for these 4 attributes, we have created getters and setters. Now it's possible to give set values and get values. We already set the first name. Let's set also last name. And be sure that they are all working. Now I want to print them out. Let's check. String, that is in person, it's written wrongly. String. Person that set phone number. Set phone number. Person one get last name. Person one get last name. Get last name. Some spelling mistakes. Yes, it's working now. We created 4 attributes in private. After that, we set them. We created getters and setters for each attribute. And in order to make some validations we are going to make also when we set the values. And in fact, this usage is called encapsulation. So you are not allowing attributes can be changed from other files directly. You are making them private, and for each attribute you are creating getters and setters. And this method is called encapsulation. It's used for validation data. Setting all these attributes in the main, it takes a lot of time. I mean, a lot of code we need to write and to set and to print them. Is there an easy way to set these values? Or, for example, even when we instantiate our class. Yes, there's a method. It's called Constructor. And Constructor, this is a method, public method, and it has the same name with the class. And here we are going to write which attributes we are going to use. They are, let's write string, first name, string, last name, string, phone number. Even it's possible to not to write all attributes. For example, I want to create a person with initially with 3 values. So email will be, for example, empty. So let's assign them. So this dot first name is equal to first name. In the same way the others. But the email, I'm giving an initial value, empty. So we have created the constructor. What does it mean? In fact, when we return to the main, if we run the program again, so it gives an error because it requires string. When we instantiate the class, it requires some arguments here. So it's waiting name, last name, and phone number as arguments. So it's possible now. Let's make this part comment, and here it's possible to write now ns first argument, second last name, and the third one is phone number. So let's see it's working or not now. Yes, it's working. NS Ion, and it has a phone number, but he doesn't have email. So initially email is empty. Sometimes necessary to create some other persons. Maybe just you need name and surname, even you don't need phone number. But if you try to create another person without writing phone number, let's call it person 2, and let's check is it working or not. You see that it requires 3 parameters. In this situation, in fact, it's possible to create a new structure which is going to have only 2 arguments. So I can copy and paste this constructor, and I can make it only with 2 arguments. And phone number, initially I'm going to give null. In this situation, also let's check it's working or not. Yeah, it's working. So let's copy and paste this one to see for person 2 what output we are going to have. So this is first person. Yes, this is first person, and this is second person. Even we can change its name. Let's make it Aylin Ayan, and in order to see, this is the second person. Yes, the second person. You see that phone number is null and email is empty. So when you start when you initialize an object from the class, it's possible to set these values directly to the attributes using the constructors. You can create many constructors many constructors for the class. Printing all this information is not good in this way. It's possible to create a method for person to print all this information, all this data. So I'm going to create it here. I'm going to make it public, and it's going to return, let's make it that it's going to return a string value, and its name will be info. And let's create a string initially. It's going to be empty, and we are adding to the result our first name and last name and etc. So result is equal to this dot first name. In fact, get first name also we can use, or just first name. Here, no difference. Of course, if there is a validation, it's better to use get first name. That's why let's write get first name. Get first name, and between them we can put a tab \t, and here this dot get last name. \t, and we have for all persons first name and last name, and also when we create the constructor first name and last name we have, but phone number maybe it will be null and email will be empty. In order to add phone number and email, we have to check first is it available or not. If this dot and get phone number is not equal to null, so if it is available, we can add plus equal, we can add this phone number to the result, and at the end let's put also tab. The same thing we can do for email. So if email equals empty, or if it is not equal to empty, so exclamation mark here. In this situation we can add email also to the results, plus equal this dot get email. So at the end we can return our results. So info is going to give us all information about this person. In this situation, it's possible let's make them comment, and let's write here that system out person1 info, and parentheses because this is a method, and second also for the second person. And let's see the result now. This that get first name variable get first name, that is in person get first name, parentheses, we need braces because this is a method. So NS has a phone number Eileen does not have a phone number, and you see that it is not added. So we can use this info for person to get their data instead of writing them on different print lines. So far we didn't make any validations data check, and let's make a data check here now. First of all, we are going to check the phone number. Phone number, it's recommended, it must have 11 digits and only numbers. So when we set phone number, we are not going to set it directly, we are going to check. Okay, so if, for example, phone number, so which is send, this phone number, right, not this phone number, length, this is a string, we can use length. If it is length is equal to 11, in this situation we can set it. For example, let's first check only for number of digits. If it's 11, let me see here how many we have. 9, for example, and it's not going to be checked. And otherwise, let's give a message here. Phone number has not been set. Now let's see. Yeah, semicolon. So it was set to yeah, there is a problem here. Phone number, in fact we have written here 9, but it's still set. If it is equal to 11, its length is equal to 11, so it's going to be set. Otherwise it's not going to be set. Yes, because what is the problem? Why it's set? Because we use constructors, and in the constructors we are assigning them directly, but it's possible to call the setters also from the constructors. So we are not going to assign phone number directly, we are going to call that that setter. So this dot set phone number, and that is phone number. So phone number, so set phone number from constructor, we are calling it. Okay, it's going to check now. Now let's see it. This one we are checking. Yes, phone number has not been set. You see that NSIN does not have phone number because it must be 11 digits. 11 digits. I did it now. I am running and I am checking again. So now NSIN has a phone number because it has 11 digits, 11 characters. If I want that all characters or digits must be numbers, in this situation, I am going to add here and I'm going to create a new method. This will be my method in order to check only digits or not. So I'm going to send to that method phone number. If this phone number is only digits, method is going to check phone number contains only numbers, and it's going to return true if it is correct. If it is not, it is going to return false. So let's create this one. I'm going to create it here at the top. So it's going to be a private because this will be used only inside this class. It's going to return true or false. That's why it's going to be Boolean, only digits. And we are sending here phone number. In fact, yeah, phone number we are sending. Phone number PN, and we are going to check all characters. They are, and that's why I'm going to create a loop here. For loop, I is less than phone number length, and in each repetition we increase I by 1, and we are checking if phone number char at I is less than 0 or phone number char at I is greater than 9. In this situation, it has some other characters, not digits. In this situation, it's going to return false. After the loop, so if there is a symbol or letter, in this situation, it's going to return false. But if it can reach at the bottom line, it means phone number has all numbers. In this situation, we can return true. So let's see it's working or not. It must work here because we have all numbers. So it's being set, but let's change one of them. For example, instead of 0, I am writing A. A is not a number. So phone number has not been set because we have here a letter. So now encapsulation makes sense because we checked phone number, that phone number must have 11 digits and only numbers it must contain. So we did it. So we can make another data validation for name. For example, if you are going to set a name and that the person has already a name, in this situation we can say that person has already a name. Do you want to change it? In this situation we are going to change. So we are going to make a validation for the set first name. Set first name. So first of all, I am going to check, yes, if this dot first name length is not equal to 0, so it means there is a name. In this situation, we need to ask, we need to say that person has already a name. Let's write it. It's also possible to show the name. And we are going to ask, do you want to change it still because it has a name? So if you want to change, press Y. Now we are going to read, we are going to get data from keyboard. In order to use it, we are going to use scanner, but scanner we are going to define in the main. Let's import the scanner. And in order to make it available in all projects, in all files in the project, and we are going to make it public static. When it's public static, it will be available to all Java files, but of course it's going to take some memory. So we defined the scanner here in the main. Now in the person we can use it. I'm going to create a new string. It's going to be check its name, and I'm writing main. This is the main file, and there is input there and next. So we are reading from the keyboard. After that, we are going to check it's Y or not. Y can be capital or small letter. The user can enter. I'm going to make user answer to uppercase. After that, I am taking the first letter. Maybe the user wrote yes, not Y. Okay. Char at it gets the first letter. Char at 0, first letter. If it is equal to Y, capital Y, because we uppercased already, in this situation it's possible to set it first name to the first name. So if not, in this situation we can write the name did not change. So there is a validation for the name we did here. So if person has already a name, we are telling that to the user. And if you want, if the user still wants to change it, user is going to press Y or going to write yes. In this situation, it will be changed. But of course, it's not going to be checked again in the constructor, right? In fact, when you initialize a new object, you don't have to check it's already has a name or not. That's why we can do it a little differently. I mean, for example, here person1 has a name, NS. Let's try to change it, okay? So person1 set first name, and we are changing NS name to, for example, Celine. And now let's see how it's going to work. So person1 has already a name, and we are trying to change his name. Person1's name is the validation validation going to work. So length, I see an error, person 60 here, length, and uppercase catch let's run again. Cannot find symbol to uppercase. Char at yes, char at person has already a name NS. If you want to change, press Y. So you see that NS name already changed to Celine. So yes, it's working. The validation is working, and now encapsulation makes sense.